You came back for round 2. Alrighty, well, we're in exercise 2. We are on page Word 66 of the textbook, Unit C of our Word 2013 chapter. The title of the section is Insert Online Pictures. And we've inserted pictures in the past. We've done screen prints that we've put into our Word document. We've also done searches on Google Images for images that we then downloaded into Dropbox, if you recall. So it's the same idea. We're just going to be utilizing Microsoft's search engine tool in order to find images, and that's inherent right here inside of the document. So that's what we're going to be working on, and then we'll finagle the image a little bit, move it around and resize it and so forth. So let's get started. This document is the same document we were working on in the last exercise. Haven't done anything with it. The document that we created, this pretty little text box. We've got a nice little shadow. We've got a shading. We've got some borders. We've got some indentation, that kind of thing. That's what we did in the last exercise. So step 1 suggests that we scroll to the bottom of this first page and find the word Inca Highlands Explorer and click in front of the Inca, in front of the eye, so that we've got a flashing cursor in front of the eye. This is where our image is going to go when we insert it. We're then going to look at the navigation bar at the very top. We've got Home, we've got Insert. We're going to click on the Insert tab. And then, we haven't really talked about this in the past, but ribbons are always split into little sections, each groupings, and those groupings are somewhat associated with each other. And so we're looking for the grouping called Illustrations, which is right down here. So this is a group that has similar characteristics that is called Illustrations. First icon is Pictures. If we're uploading a picture from our hard drive or our student data folders or our Dropbox, that's where we would go to find it in one of our drives. But we're going to search the internet. We're going to use Online Pictures. So we're going to click on the Online Pictures icon. And this brings up a window that says Insert Pictures. Now step 2 says that you're going to use office.com clip art. This book is a little outdated. Microsoft no longer supports office.com clip art. Instead, Microsoft uses Bing image search. Now if you remember when we talked about search engines, Bing is a search engine that Microsoft runs. So we've used Google search engine. Microsoft's version of a search engine is called Bing, so we're utilizing Bing's search tool in order to look for pictures on the internet. Step 2 suggests you type in Machu Picchu for a picture to put into our document. That sounds an awful lot like Pikachu, who happens to be my favorite Pokemon, and I'm going to put in Pikachu. You can put in Machu Picchu or whatever image you want. The image itself isn't really important at this point. It's putting it into our document and manhandling it a little bit, or woman-handling it, whichever you prefer. From there, you can either hit the Enter key on your keyboard or click on this little magnifying glass in the right-hand corner of our search tool to get images based on the search words that you entered. So I get this little warning just reminding us that images that are found on the internet could have copyright issues, so they want us to know that as far as they know, these images are not protected by copyright laws and you're allowed to use them, but just be aware of that. So I'm going to click on the little X to make that little warning box go away so that I can look at all my pictures of Pikachu. He's always so happy. I love Pikachu. And I'm going to pick an image that I would like to put into my document. This one looks good, so I'm going to click on it. When I click on it, there's a little blue border that goes around it to indicate that was the image that I chose. And I'm going to click on the little button here on the right, the bottom corner that says Insert, to insert it into my document. Whoa, that's an awful big picture. A little bit too big for my document. So step 4 is trying to give us different ways in which we can resize the image to make it fit our document a little bit more appropriately. 2 ways to do it. First of all, we want to make sure our image is selected. And you can see that this image is selected, and I can tell because of this border that's placed around it. and there's little rectangles in either the corners or in the middle of the sides or the top. So one way that I can resize it is if I move my mouse over to one of those rectangles, I get a double-headed arrow, either in the sides or the top. Once I get a double-headed arrow, that's the resize tool, and if I hold my mouse button down, I click and drag inward or downward or what have you, it's going to resize the image. So I can continue to resize it until it's a size that's a little bit more fitting. The other thing I can do is, if you notice up here on the top right, the top of the screen, I've got a special menu. Microsoft knows that I have chosen a picture, so it's given me an additional menu item up here called Picture Tools. And on the right-hand side here, I can change my height or my width manually. So if I felt like I could do it better manually, I can type in 0.75 and click away, and arrow back up. And that's a little bit more appropriate size. So whichever way is easier. I've lost that up on my right-hand corner. Where did it go? If I click on Pikachu, it shows up back again. Here's my menu item. If I click on it, it'll show up back over here again. So we call those context-sensitive menus. They show up based on what you've clicked on. Okay. If I would like to move my Pikachu around to demonstrate some different features. If you notice, if I put my cursor over the top of Pikachu, I get a four-headed arrow. Remember, the two-headed arrow is resize. The four-headed arrow is move. So initially, I'm going to move Pikachu, and you can see my mouse has changed. I've got a mouse arrow with a little dotted rectangle at the bottom of it. And also notice this big black bar that's following me around now. So that big black bar is following my cursor as I click and drag across this text. My mouse's button is held down. I'm clicking and dragging to the right. I'm going to stop in between highlights and and notice my big black bar there. That indicates that if I let go of my mouse, this is where that image is going to go. So I'm going to let go to demonstrate that. And this is called an inline text, simply meaning that the text is just going in the same flow as my image. Nothing fancy, no image, no text wrapping around the image. It's just following right along with the text, even though size-wise it looks pretty silly. That's what an inline text would do. I'm going to move this back to where it was in front of the Inca. Start again. And we're going to show you what floating graphic means. So now we're on step 5. Step 5 says we need to go to the position button in the Arrange group. So here's my Arrange group. I've got Pikachu selected, which gives me the special Picture Tools menu. I've got an Arrange group down here. And I'm to click on the position, which is this icon right here. So if I click on position, here I see inline with text. Well, that's what we just did. That's the option we just chose, where we moved the image right in line with the text. But now if we choose with text wrapping, you'll see that the text will actually flow around the image. So if I select, let's try, the book says position in middle center with square. Let's see, so this one right here. Position in middle center with square text wrapping. Okay, that's what step number 5 suggests we choose, so that's the one I'm going to choose. Well, Pikachu went to the very middle of my page, and all the text is now surrounding Pikachu. But I didn't want Pikachu here. I wanted Pikachu down here with the Incas. So I'm going to get my mouse over the Pikachu. I get the four-headed arrow. I'm going to click and drag. You see, a little bit different. No longer do I have that black bar. Now Microsoft is trying to arrange the words around my Pikachu. So I'm going to put Pikachu back here in front of the word Inca, and that looks a little bit better to me. I'm going to click away to unselect it, and now you can see that the text is flowing around my Pikachu. So again, If I click on Pikachu, notice I don't have my special picture formatting up here at the top of my screen. I'm going to click on Pikachu. I get my special picture tools format bar menu back. I'm going to click on position. Maybe this time I'll choose this one, which should be upper right hand corner. Pikachu disappeared to the very top again. I'm going to drag Pikachu back down here. Dragging Pikachu back down. And I'm going to put Pikachu to the right of my text instead. That looks a little bit better. So notice you can move it around and see how the text responds to that. So text is floating around my image now, and that's the difference between inline graphic and floating graphic. So I can demonstrate that. I've got this little layout options here, which is doing the same thing. It's just a shortcut menu of that, which I found up here in the picture tools format. So I can demonstrate again the inline text, which means that Pikachu just moves right along with the text. Or if I change the wrapping somehow to, lots of choices here, then Pikachu is going to move, the text is going to flow around Pikachu. So try those different things and see if that all makes sense. The last step in the book is saying to go up to the View tab, which is up here, Home, Insert, Design, Page Layout, View. And just to give me a little bit different view, I'm going to select multiple pages so I can see all the pages side by side, get a little better view of how that's all looking. Okay. So now what I would like you to do is save this document. File, save, or save as, depending. Remember the difference between save and save as. If I haven't saved it yet, save will tell me where I want to save it. If I want to save it in a new location after I've already saved it once, I can choose Save As. I'm going to choose Save As because I think I've already saved this once. I'm going to navigate to wherever you want to go. I think maybe I'll go to my Dropbox since that sounds familiar to us. We all know what Dropbox is now. Mine's at the top of this. I can hear Kathy. I don't see Dropbox. Kathy, don't forget, arrow, scroll up here. There we go. I caught you. All right. Hit Dropbox. And then I'm going to save it in Dropbox. You can save it with whatever you want. I'm going to name mine Pikachu. That seems more appropriate. So there's my Pikachu. I renamed the file. I'm going to click Save, and it's saved in my Dropbox. I can tell that from my address bar up here. Dropbox, Pikachu, and Save. All right. Looks good. Okay. So now what I'd like you to do is navigate back to your Blackboard. Go back to the lessons. And you're in class. And I added this since the last video that we saw, but now you have an in-class assignment, so you have a place where we can upload that document. So I want you to click on In-Class Assignment. And from there, we can scroll down a little bit. It says Assignment Submission, so we're going to upload, remember that term? Upload our assignment into Blackboard here. I'm going to find Browse My Computer. I'm going to click on that. Navigate back to my Dropbox. Click on Dropbox. Arrow down until I find Pikachu. Goodness, I have a lot of things in Blackboard, in a Dropbox. There's Pikachu. There's my Pikachu. There's the Word document. I can see with that pretty icon. Click on Pikachu. Click on Open. Now I can see the Pikachu file is here, waiting for me to send it up to Blackboard. So I'm going to scroll to the bottom of this screen, and then it'll say Submit. Click on Submit, and that should upload the file into Blackboard. Now you can see Review Submission History in Class Assignment, so that means that it was submitted. You can see what was submitted. I can scroll down here to see everything. Look, there it is. Sounds good. If you're not sure and you have left this area, we'll go back to Lessons. I wonder if I uploaded that. You can come into Grades. Oh, I can't do it because I'm in a teacher's role. So forget that one. You can go into grades and you can see your submission. It'll have a green explanation point to show that you submitted that document. Or I can come back into class. I can come back into the assignment. And if you've submitted it, there should be a copy of your submission in here as well. So that's it. Submit your document, Pikachu, Machu Picchu, or whatever else you've come up with. I look forward to seeing your documents.